Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our travel podcast. And today we are located in Athens, the magnificent country of Greece. If you are new to our podcast, we travel the world and then deliver the rich facts and tourist information you wish to hear about before you head out to your dream vacation. I'm Danielle, and my co host today is Stephen. Greece has so much rich history that sometimes the average American, or let alone anyone, can sometimes forget about.
Danielle, what are some key history facts that we should know about before visiting a country like Greece?
That's honestly a great question. Let's start off with ancient Greece, which is most known for being the birthplace of democracy. Its artists, famous philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Not only that, but we get products such as marbles, olives, and olive oil, feta cheese, and honey from Greece as well, which I was surprised to learn about. We also can't forget that literature and theater was an important aspect of Greek culture and still is. It is what influenced our modern day drama. We also can't forget that the Greeks were known for their amazing sophisticated sculpture and architecture work that surrounds the whole country and world today.
Wow, since getting out of school 4 years ago, I had totally forgotten about some of those interesting facts that you brought up. Danielle, what will the tourists be up for when they come to visit during the summer months here in Greece?
Well, Stephen, that's another great question. Greece is surrounded by hundreds of islands, and surprisingly, between the mainland and the islands, there are about 11.2 million people who reside here in Greece, which is about 14% of the Earth's population. If you were to ask me, that's way too many people. The population makes the density in Greece thick, if you know what I mean. There's roughly 210 people per square mile. I couldn't begin to imagine the traffic that could be here during rush hour, and I thought Seattle was bad. With the population being that large, insanely, 40% of the population lives here in Athens, which is the capital. Even with the possibility of horrible traffic, that's only the beginning. And to answer your question, Stephen, during the summer months, the population doubles in sizes because of the amount of tourists who travel to see this luscious countryside.
Wow, that is an insane amount of people that will be here during the summer months. I'm glad we got here before tourist season. What are the tourists going to be doing once they arrive here in Athens?
When you come to Greece, be prepared to visit all the main museums, such as the Acropolis Museum, which is one of Athens' most visited tourist attractions. This museum was designed by Swiss architect Bernard Tiscumi, who built this museum to be an ultra modern glass and steel structure with light that brought in big, airy exhibition spaces, built specifically to display the ancient finds from Acropolis. With a ticket to visit this museum, you can see the actual landmark of Acropolis, which is a huge rocky mound rising from the heart of modern Athens, crowned by three magnificent temples dating from the 5th century BC. The best known and most distinctive temple here is the Parthenon, which is originally made up of 58 columns supporting a roof and decorated with ornate pediments. So far, Stephen, what has been your favorite place that we have went to?
Danielle, if I had to pick what place I enjoyed the most, it would have to be when we visited the north side of Crete. It was a popular destination for Europeans seeking beach weather. However, I enjoyed the North Crete for its mountainous terrain. It does make travel time a bit longer, but the views are definitely worth it in my opinion. A great view beats any day in the city. What about you, Danielle? What has been your favorite place so far?
Well, I'm always down to go to a good museum. However, I'd like staying here in Athens for the nightlife tour. Athenians don't head out for coffee or brunch until about midday, which we soon found out, and dinner commonly starts here at 10 p.m. An empty restaurant could be a sign of subpar food or could simply mean you're just a few hours ahead of the crowd, which always seemed to be the case for us. During our tour, it took us strolling through popular nightlife districts with a local Athenian guide to point out their most loved neighborhoods, restaurants, and bars. This private tour lasted us 2.5 hours, starting at the time of your choosing, which was between 6 and 7 p.m. We decided to go with 7 just to be fun. Our tour included 4 alcoholic drinks and 2 tastings of Greek authentic food per person. The drinks and tastings are usually enjoyed in a prearranged restaurant and bars, but the local guides have some flexibility for you, which I highly like, since Steven is such a picky eater.
Not everyone needs to know that, but it is true. However, keep going about the tour, Danielle.
Oh, I almost forgot, you can let your tour guides know if you have any food and drink preferences or dietary requirements or Greek food fantasies that you really want to try out, and they'll do their best to customize your tour, which is a bonus since I'm a type 1 diabetic. So your experiences may be a little bit different from ours on this tour. However, one thing's for certain, you will never look at Athens the same way.
I'm glad we got to travel around Greece and to the local islands. However, I haven't learned much about Greece work life for the locals. Can you give me some insight on that?
I would love to. The average age in Greece is 44 years old, which means a lot of people are still working here to reach retirement. Retirement in Greece is possible to start by the age of 55 or after 30 years of long work. However, public sector employees could retire as early as 52, which would be nice, as well as some women with young children could retire with reduced pension at 50. Many men and women work here as tourist attractions. However, there are still many everyday jobs such as teachers, bankers, laborers, and, and surprisingly, the unemployment rate, according to Eurostat, is 17%, and the poverty rate is surprisingly high, even though they are considered to be a rich country. 34.8% of Greeks live in poverty or in danger of poverty, according to data revealed by the European Statistics Authority at Eurostat.com. More specifically, 20.1% of Greeks live in condition in poverty and social exclusion, with 14% of the population being in danger of going into poverty. It is still clear that the financial crisis in 2008 and 2008 made the situation here worse for Greece and economically viewing it.
I had no idea about the Greece economic status. That sure was an eye opener. I'm glad to hear the tourists are helping make jobs for the locals.
Me too, Stephen. However, we're getting close to the end of our podcast. Is there any last questions you would like to go over?
Well, let's end on a good note. How is the weather there?
Greece has a Mediterranean climate, which lends itself to be mild and often wet winters and dry summers. The country is mostly sunny throughout the year, which I am so thankful for. The northern part of the country can be very cold during the winters, even receiving snow in some areas. That's where a lot of people like to go snowboarding or snow skiing. Winter, however, on the average is very mild to the south. According to weather.com, if you want to enjoy an outdoor Athens tour, I would highly encourage you to schedule your trip from April to October. But if you want to swim, temperatures are warm enough from mid-May through September.
Well, I can definitely account for the nice weather here. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to our travel podcast with Danielle and co-host Stephen. We hope to see you back next month with a new adventure. Happy and safe travels. In today's podcast, our facts and information can be found in the effects of European and economic distress on depression symptoms in the article Materials Social Medica, Volume 30, at worldmeters.info. They Stole My Money, Greek Dream of Retirement Turned Sour article can be found at ethermirroring.com. And last but not least, you can find more of this information in a text called World Regional Geographic 7th edition by Lydia and Alex Pulsfer and Ola Johansson.